press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Children, we have been discussing the numericals of wave optics. In the first session, I have completed with the 20th problem we have completed. So we'll go for continuation of that remaining problems. I told already this sheet is provided with 3 exercises. Classwork I am doing now. Homework is your responsibility, and level 2 problems also I will discuss soon after completion of few more problems from this section or from this classwork problems, right? We will go for next level of problems, next level in the sense a bit complicated problems if they are, I am going to solve them. In that also few which you can able to do, I will give assign some work for you where you have to do them. So now like going with 21st problem, problem number 21, see what they are given. An analyzer is analyzer is inclined to a polarizer at an angle of 30 degree. Intensity of light emerging from the analyzer is 1 by nth of that of the incident on the polarizer, then n is equals to. So what is the angle between polarizer and the analyzer? Analyzer is inclined to polarizer at an angle 30, means what? See, if I say, if this is polarizer and this is analyzer, if I am going to say, let us say I naught is incidented here. If I naught is incidented, how much is going to be through the polarizer? No doubt we know I naught by 2. After passing through this one, it is how much? I naught by 2 into, let us say if this angle is theta, this is I naught by 2 into cos square theta we have studied. What is the value of theta they have given? Theta equals to I think 30 degrees, theta is 30 they have given. So finally intensity after passing through this analyzer, I it will be equals to what? I naught by 2 into cos square of 30. No, cos 30 root 3 by 2, right? And cos square 30 means 3 by 4 it is. 3 by 4 into I naught by 2 is 3 I naught by 8 you will get. This is intensity. So, but question is, what they are saying, whatever the light intensity we are going to get here is 1 by nth of the incident on the polarizer, means if I naught is incidented, this value it is equals to 1 by nth of the I naught, that is I naught by n they have given. If I take these values, right, then 3 I naught by 8 it will be equals to what? I naught by n, then the value of n it will be equals to 8 over 3. This is the answer, n equals to 8 by 3. So like this you have to solve for it. See, simple, we have to obtain the intensity how much it is, and they have given that this intensity is equals to 1 by nth of intensity of the intensity of light incidented on the polarizer. Hence I naught by n will be equals to 3 I naught by 8, hence n it will be equals to what? 8 by 3. That is the answer, you can make a note. Next, 22nd in the same way, intensity problems related to the polarizer are very important. I am stretching more on that even. You can just take with the 22nd problem, you can see there. 22nd. See, same model you will get in level 3 which you have to do it. I will focus more on interference problems in level 3 or in the next level. 23rd is like, sorry, 22nd. Unpolarized light of intensity 32 watt per meter square passes through a polarizer and analyzer which are at angle of 30 with respect to the intensity of light coming from the analyzer is. Obviously, what is the formula for it? I equals to, after passing through analyzer, I naught by 2 into cos square 30. 30 degrees only, no, they have given angle. Same. I naught they have given it as how much? Intensity incidented on unpolarized light, it is how much? 32. If it is polarized light, by 2 will not come. Keep this point in mind. You should be very careful in this part. Okay. So substitute for it, you will get the value. How much it is? I think 16 into 3 by 4, 4 ones, 4 4s are, it is 12 watt per meter square it is. Intensity will be equals to what? 12 watt per meter square. Very simple. Next, 23rd. It's a very simple theoretical question it is. Wave theory cannot explain the phenomenon of, see in the beginning we have studied wave theory explained all the phenomena like what? Interference, right, reflection, refraction, diffraction and polarization. that is up to Maxwell's electromagnetic wave equation, right, wave theory, but it couldn't explain two property we have studied. What are those? Compton effect and photoelectric effect. See, by considering particle nature of light, that is quantum theory of light successfully explained Compton effect and photoelectric effect, but wave theory is not successful in explaining what? Compton effect and photoelectric effect. That's why option 3 is correct here, C and D. And even 24th, just a theoretical question it is, just go through 24th. In Fraunhofer diffraction experiment, L is the distance between screen and the obstacle, B is the size of the obstacle, and lambda is the wavelength of incident light. Condition for applicability of Fraunhofer diffraction, or in general this condition we used to call it as applicability of wave optics. Wave optics is going to be applicable, see, for these values B square by, this is very important, B square by L lambda should be much less than or equals to 1. If this condition is going to be, this is applicability of wave optics, it is applicability of ray optics. If I am going to say applicability of ray optics, applicability of ray optics, applicability of ray optics is, what is the condition for applicability of ray optics there? B square by L lambda should be much greater than 1, or size of the obstacle should be much greater than the wavelength of light. So like ray optics applicability or geometrical applicability is what? This size of the obstacle with which, like in ray optics we will say light is going to be incidented on some mirror, we are going to say. Size of the obstacle is what? Mirror we are going to consider. Refracting surface if I take, it is some transparent medium we are going to consider. So if wavelength is in terms of what? Wavelength of light in terms of angstroms, it is very small, right? So size of the obstacle B, what is that? There in case of what? Mirror will take, bigger objects they are going to be. So size of the obstacle should be much greater than the wavelength of light used. This equation will tend to this, B square much greater than lambda, wavelength of light used. Then we will say, right, ray optics is going to be applicable in that condition. But whereas wave optics applicability is for this condition, B square should be very much less than lambda. Means, just an example for diffraction if I want to say, when the light is, see, even a twinkling of light is due to what? This diffraction phenomena will say, okay. So like when the light is propagating through the medium, right, so like bending of light is a phenomena we are going to say for what? Diffraction, right. So when even small dust particles, if it is going to be light, if it is going to be encounter with a small dust particle which is very smaller in size compared to the wavelength of light used, in such condition, right. So we are going to study that condition as what? Diffraction phenomena will study, right. Their applicability of wave optics is going to be considered in case of what? Wave optics is going to be considered for what? Study of the diffraction phenomena. Right. So that's why this is a condition you have to remember, B square by L lambda is much less than 1 is the validity of wave optics, we will say. This is validity of ray optics. You just have these 2 points in your mind. Okay. Next we will move on to 25C. Even it is simple theoretical question, nothing to solve. You just can think over and you tell me. Coherence conditions we have studied. What is that coherency condition? Light sources produces the following waves, Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4. Superposition of which two will give rise to interference? Interference should take place in the sense, we have studied, two waves should be of coherent, we told. Coherent means they need to have same frequency, same wavelength, as well as both needs to have a constant phase difference or same phase. Phase should be same or constant, phase difference we need to have. So in the given option, see there what are those? One is sin omega t, the other one is sin 2 omega t. Can these two form superposition will form a interference? No. Why? Because first one is having omega, the other one is having 2 omega. These two frequencies are not equal. So that means 1 and 2 never form the interference. See the third one is, for first one omega we are having, for third one is what? Omega t itself we are having. The here frequency is same, and they are going to maintain constant phase difference of f1 minus f2. Definitely these two superposed to form what? Interference pattern. Whereas fourth one, if I take 3 omega t, none of these 1, 2 and 3 is having 3 omega as a frequency, right? So hence superposition of 1, either of these 2 and 4 will not give the interference. and 2 and any other will not give the interference, and even with 4 and any other will not give the interference. So answer is with 1 and 3. These two waves, when they are going to be superposed, we are going to have the 1 and 3 means which option will get? Third option will get. Simple. And then go for 26th problem. So we are going to correlate this with critical angle, what we have studied in total internal reflection. I hope you remember. Critical angle for transparent crystal is 45 degrees. They are saying theta c it will be equals to 45 degrees they are given. Okay. So what is the polarizing angle? You know, for polarizing angle, right? What is polarizing angle or Brewster's angle means? It is the angle of incidence on a refracting surface for which the reflected light is completely plane polarized, right? So for that we got one relation, tan theta p, tan of angle of polarization will be equals to what? Refractive index of that transparent medium on which the light is going to be incidented. So taking this into consideration, you have critical angle, but for critical angle, right, this is critical angle we are having. Critical angle. What is the formula for critical angle we are having? Or sin theta c it will be equals to what? Refractive index of rarer medium by refractive index of denser medium. This is the formula we have learned for what? This critical angle. Generally if you take for it is air or vacuum, then it will be equals to what? 1 refractive index of the denser medium. So we need to find out the value. I'll just say it is some mu is the refractive index of the transparent medium, which we need to find it out. So from this relation, theta c is how much they are given? 45. So from this, sin 45 equals to 1 by mu, or refractive index mu it will be equals to what? Root 2 it is. So then if you substitute for this value, what will get? Tan theta p it will be equals to root 2, or polarizing angle is tan inverse of root 2. This is the option. Tan inverse of root 2. Which option it is? First one you are going to have. Tan inverse of root 2. Simple. Okay. Hope you got this. Go for the next one, 27th problem. Two light beams produce interference pattern to give maxima and minima on the screen. If the intensities of the light beams are in the ratio 9:4, okay, then the ratio of intensity, this already we have solved, I have given in the beginning of that interference concept, that is, they have given here what? I1 by I2. I1 by I2 value they are given, right? What they are asking to find? Ratio of maxima to minima intensity means what? I maximum divided by I minimum. Formula is what? Root I1 plus root I2 whole square divided by, this is root I1 minus root I2 whole square. Root I1 plus root I2 whole square divided by root I1 minus root I2 whole square. You just write I1 in terms of I2. This value they have given it as how much? I1 by I2 is 9 by 4. You take I1 common. Already this model problem I have discussed in the previous session. So you just go through with that. You will get the answer there. So this is 27th problem, right? Next go with 28th problem, important. See here. 28th. Once you have a overlook of the problem, just go with that. Problem number 28. In the Young's double slit experiment, intensities at 2 points P1 and P2 on the screen are respectively I1 and I2. If P1 is located at the center of the bright fringe and P2 is located at a distance equal to quarter of the fringe width from P1, then I1 and I2, I1 by I2 is how much they are asking. This is just not a formula based one. Putting one small formula you can't get for it. Some conceptual questions where some numerical to be solved for it, right? This kind of problems we'll see now. What they are saying, this is slits on the screen for example, and this is the center of the screen. Okay. So P1 where it is located, they are saying intensities are 2 points P1 and P2. P1 is at the center of the bright fringe, means this is what? This is center exactly, it is what? P1. And where the P2 is going to be located at? P2 is at a distance of how much? Equal to 1/4 of the fringe width from P1. That means this distance y equals to 1/4 of fringe width, 1/4 of beta. You know beta is what? This is 1/4 of lambda capital D by small d. We have already learned this one. beta equals to what? Lambda capital D by small d, fringe width relation, right? So why it is, this is what the point P2 is. Now question is, so what's the question they are asking here? Question is like, P1 and P2, the intensities they had asked, I1 by I2, right? So if I1 and I2 are the intensities at these 2 points, right? Okay, see here, at P1 intensity is what? I1. At P1 intensity is I1 and at P2 intensity is what? I2 they are saying. Let me say these two sources are I0 and I0 intensities. We know straight away at any point on the screen, if you know the phase difference at a given point, means the wave which is coming from this source as well as from these two are going to superpose, right? So what is the path difference between those two waves? Based on that, or phase difference between those two waves, you can find out how much is the intensity. For that, what formula we are having? Intensity I, it will be equals to 4 I0 into cos square 5 by 2. This is the formula we are having to find out intensity at any point on the screen. So now in this problem, they have not given phase difference. What they are given? Distance between these 2 points, right? So what is the phase difference between the two waves coming from between these two when they are going to be superposed, right? What is the P1 means directly I can write I1, it will be equals to 4 I0 into cos square 5 by 2. 5 is 0, that's why I will get 4 I0. This is clear. Now at P2, how to find the intensity? Any wave which is coming to P2, right? So for example, if I say this is angle theta, this value is how much y it is, right? So here tan theta, it will be equals to what? Y divided by, this is capital D, we are away. Just some mathematical calculation we are doing here. Tan theta equals to y by d. But path difference formula, what we have written? Path difference, right? Delta x, it will be equals to, we have written for the relation path difference delta x equals to d sin theta. You remember the relation? Path difference delta x, it will be equals to what? D sin theta, or else delta x, it will be equals to d into, see, sin theta is almost equals to tan theta. This is almost equals to what? Sin and tan are equal. So in place of sin theta, I can write y by capital D. Okay, or it will be equals to d by capital D into, what is the value of y? We are having lambda capital D by 4d. Now this is lambda capital D by 4d. So capital D, these and all, they will get cancelled. Finally, path difference for the waves which are reaching this point P2 is equals to delta x, it will be equals to how much you are getting? Lambda by 4. If path difference is lambda by 4, then phase difference phi, it will be equals to how much? You know the relation between path and phase difference, right? Phi, it will be equals to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. You know this relation. Just substitute for it, what you will get? Phi, it will be equals to 2 pi by lambda into path difference is how much, ma? Lambda by 4. So lambda, 2 ones, 2 twos, or phi you are getting it is pi by 2. Means any wave which is coming to this point P2, right, from these two will be having a phase difference of how much? Pi by 2. Then substitute into this formula. Then I dash or I2, it will be equals to, this is 4 I0 into cos square of pi by 2 divided by 2. That means pi by 4 it will become. Okay, now phi divided by 2. Phi is pi by 2, that's why pi by 4 it will become. Cos 45, 1 by root 2, whole square means 1 by 2. So then it will become how much now? 2 I0 it will become. I2 equals to 2 I0. They are asking to find out what exactly? The question. Exactly, they are asking to find the ratio of I1 by I2. They are asking to find out I1 by I2 is how much. Therefore, I1 divided by I2 will be equals to, I1 is 4 I0 we got, I2 is 2 I0, that's why it is 2. That ratio will be equals to 2. That's the answer. So I hope you got this. You can copy this. We'll go for the next one then. 29th problem. 29th. Soon we'll move on to this next exercise. Just go through with this 29th problem what they have given. In Young's double slit experiment, the 10th maximum of wavelength lambda 1 or L1, whatever it is at a distance of y1 from the central maxima, and when the wavelength of source is changed to lambda 2, fifth maximum is at a distance of y2 from its central maximum, then the ratio of y1 by y2 is how much they are asking. So here I just ask you to recall with the formulas what we have studied for distance of nth bright fringe from the central fringe and distance of nth dark fringe from the central fringe. I think here in this problem they are asking only for maxima itself, that's why no need to bother about the minimum, that is dark fringe. Distance of nth bright fringe from the central fringe. Okay, this is the central fringe. If I say, what is the question? 10th maxima of wavelength lambda 1 is at a distance of y1, means at a distance of y1 what is going to be formed? 10th maxima, means 10th bright fringe is going to be formed at that point. So tell me how to write for y1, it will be equals to what? Formula is n lambda capital D by small d. This is the formula for what? Nth bright, distance of nth bright fringe from central fringe. This is a relation we have written. So means capital D and small d are same here, means y1 is proportional to what? N lambda. Okay na? And see, they are changing the wavelengths, right? So fifth maxima is at a distance of what? Y2. So therefore y1 by y2 will be equals to, directly short way you can write it, n1 lambda 1 divided by n2 lambda 2. How much it is? n1, what is that? First 10th bright is for wavelength lambda 1, means what? 10 lambda 1 divided by, and this is fifth maximum is at y2, means 5 lambda 2. 5 ones, 5 twos, or this ratio y1 by y2 it will be equals to 2 lambda 1 divided by lambda 2. y1 by y2 equals to what? 2 lambda 1 divided by lambda 2. First option is correct here. So that's how we need to solve for this. See, soon after this you are having homework problems here. I just ask you to go through with all these homework problems. Same number you are having 30. The same models what we have studied in exercise 1, right, or sorry in classwork what I have discussed. Same number of problems you are having, model problems are also same, numbers only it has been changed. So if you are able to solve all these problems by your own, as a practice you can take it for half an hour or 40 minutes. If you are not known, right, just rewind with all the solutions what we have done for this classwork. Please go through with them again, and once again without looking into the solution back again you have to solve this. That's the way how you have to practice while doing this is the practice I am asking you to do with homework. Okay, so you have already learnt with classwork problems, right? Again, when you start doing this homework problem, don't keep that solution which you have already done in the previous that is in the classwork, right? So it's your intention is after learning everything, go for practicing this. Still if you are not confident in solving this, right, go back them, learn and come back, and without seeing you have to do this. So this is what I just ask you to do with soon after completion of classwork. And then we are having class, I just mentioned it as exercise 2. I just want you to take out that page now. Exercise 2, we'll start doing from that part. They are all like JE based earlier. Exercise 2. First one is once again the simple problem that I think no need of much discussion for it. Two coherent monochromatic light beams of intensities I and 4I are superposed, means like interference is going to be formed. What are their intensities they are saying? I and 4I. The maxima and minima possibilities intensities in the resultant beam are, means they are asking to find what is maxima there and what is minima. Maxima formula means I maxima, it will be equals to what? Root I1 plus number of times I am writing this formula, root I1 plus root I2 whole square, it is I maxima is, and I minima is what? I minima will be equals to root I1 minus root I2 whole square. This is the relations we are having for maxima and minima. They are given I1 and I2 values, substitute for them and get back, you will get the answers there, whatever it is, you just can copy that, you can solve for it, there is nothing in that. Next, I ask you to go for problem 2. Second problem, wave of same amplitude and same frequency from two coherent sources overlap at a point. Ratio of resultant intensity when they arrive in phase to that when they arrive with 90 degrees phase difference is. Okay. So what they are saying, same amplitude, same frequency, everything means what is happening here? Interference is taking place. Okay. At any point, if you want to find out intensity based on the phase difference, means you are having this relation I equals to 4I naught cos square phi by 2. Remember this formula for to determine the intensity of two superposing waves at any point on the screen. At a point P on the screen, if I want to find out the intensity, formula is I equals to 4I naught cos square phi by 2. Okay. So, for the given 4I naught, when it is, both the sources are of same intensity, right? I naught and I naught is the intense source intensities, right? Then you have, so then what they are saying, they are arriving at a point, right? Ratio of resultant intensity when they arrive at in phase. In phase means what? Phi equals to 0, and out of phase means out of phase by 90. Phi 2 equals to 9. If they interfere with phi 1, at that point what will be the intensity? Can you tell me now? This is 4I naught into cos 0 is how much? 1, that is 4I naught will get here. And when they interfere with 90, I2 equals to what? 4I naught into what will get there? Cos square 90 by 2 is 45. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. Whole square is 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. This is 2I naught it is. So I can write I1 by I2 ratio only they are asking, right? I1 by I2 it will be equals to 4I naught divided by 2I naught, or it will be equals to what? 2. Answer is 2:1, like that. Next, third problem. In Young's double slit experiment, the intensity of light at a point on the screen where the path difference is lambda is k. The intensity at a point where the path difference is lambda by 3 is, same formula only I will make you see here. At a point where path difference, they are instead of phase difference, what they are given here, ma? Path difference. Initially, what is the path difference they are given? Lambda. Means intensity at a point on the screen where path for phi for path difference delta x equals to lambda. Intensity at that point is what? K they are given. See carefully. Now, for path difference of delta x dash equals to lambda by 3, at that point what is the intensity they are asking. This is what they are asking to find it out. Okay. So now, you know I equals to 4I naught into cos square phi by 2 you are having, right. So like this for a path difference of delta x, what is the corresponding phase difference? Can you tell me now? For a path difference of delta x, phase difference is 2 pi by lambda into path difference is what? Lambda. Therefore, phi it will be equals to 2 pi. Then how to write this k value? It will be equals to what? For this phi it will be equals to what? 2 pi we got. How you got means from this. Okay. If I substitute I equals to k in the sense this is 4I naught into cos square of 2 pi. Okay. So, or the value of k it will be equals to how much now? K equals to what? 4I naught. Cos 2 pi is how much? 1. That's why it is 4I naught is the value of k we got. Similarly, for a wavelength of lambda by 3 means phi dash at that point 2 pi by lambda into lambda by 3. Lambda it will get cancelled. This is 2 pi by 3. For this phase difference, what is the value of intensity you are going to get means? For that I dash equals to 4I naught into cos square of 2 pi by 3. What is 2 pi by 3? Pi by 3 means 60, right? 60 into 2, 120. Cos 120 is how much? Cos 90 plus 30. Cos 90 plus 30 minus sin 30 minus 1 by 2 it is. 1 by 2 whole square is 1 by 4. We will get 4I naught into 1 by 4, or it is equals to how much it is? I naught. Directly in one step we can do, like taking path difference, how it is related with phase difference there straight away. Just for your explanation I am mentioning this entire thing again. This is I divided by I dash only, no, they are asking what is the intensity at that point. I dash equals to I naught means what here? I naught is k by 4. This is I dash equals to what? K by 4. This is the answer there. So which option? K by 4. First option you are going to get there. Important. Just make a note. Just writing this path difference in terms of phase difference and that formula in that you have to substitute for it. This is a major relation which you have to remember. Intensity at any point on the screen due to the superposition of two waves, interference in case of interference pattern, right? This is the intensity what you have to remember with. Okay, next. Fourth problem is, that is simple. Again, this model problem already we have done with. Only thing, instead of I1 by I2 they have given ratio of the intensities of the sources B they have given. Write down that value in terms of that and you solve. As a work you can do it. Fourth one you have to work out by yourself. Next problem you go through. Fifth one. Just read that what they have given. Is one of the JE repeated problem. Okay. So fifth problem is like, distance between the two slits in Young's double slit experiment is D they have given, and distance of the screen from the plane to the slits is B. P is a point on the screen directly in front of one of the slits. Then path difference between the waves arriving at point P from the two slits is, just I will take the geometry of this problem first. These two are two slits and here somewhere the screen it is. Okay. So I will call this one as some S1 and this screen, this slit is what? S2. Just I will write for all what are all they have given. This is, what is this one they have given? Distance between slits D, distance between slits and the distance between the slits is D, but the distance of screen from the plane of the slits is B they have given. This is B, and this value how much they have given? This is small d they have given. Okay. Okay. Now question is, P is a point on the screen directly in front of one of the slits, means directly in front of one of the slits. This is what a point P they have given. Okay. Now path difference between the waves arriving at P from the two slits is, means one of the light is coming from this point and another light is coming from where, this slit S2. Okay. So these two, S1P and S2P are the distances they have travelled in order to reach this point P. See, no doubt this is going to be travelling lesser distance compared to this S2 na? So that's why if I am going to see, this is perpendicular for this, and also if I am going to draw this particular thing, right, this is what the path difference delta x we are going to call, right. What is this path difference? Path difference means how much extra path this second wave has travelled compared to what, first wave, means S2P minus S1P itself is the path difference. So path difference, comma, delta x, it is nothing but what, or some delta or something I am going to call path difference delta, it will be equals to any symbol, just a representation. Path difference delta is what, S2P minus S1P. Already S1P value is known for us, how much it is, B. But if you find what is the value of S2P, substituting into this formula, we will end up with this. A small geometry we have to consider. Okay. So here see, in this right triangle, this will be the right triangle now, right, S1P and S2, right. From this what I can add on, S2P is hypotenuse. Here S2P it is equals to S2P square, hypotenuse square, it will be equals to what, S1 S2 square plus S1P square, or else I can write, see, S2P it will be equals to, how much, tell me now, this is, S1 S2 is nothing but what, ma, small d na, this is d square, plus S1P is nothing but B, that is B square, whole power 1 by 2, that is root of that we are going to find. See, just these are all, like the value of capital B is very much high compared to the value of small d. A small binomial expansion I am going for it. So from this, S2P will be equals to d square plus B square, which is very smaller value here actually, small d, right, that is why we will go for small d. This is B square plus 1 by 2 into d square, B square plus 1 by 2 into d square. B if I take common from this, what will get, tell me now, B square if I take common, what else is remaining, 1 plus 1 by 2 into this is d square by B square. This is what, S2P we got. sorry, this is when you take the binomial expansion, this will become b, right? Half into d you are going to get there, sorry, d square it is, okay. Next term we are going to get, that is b plus 1 by 2 into d square, or it is b square, b if I take it outright, 1 plus d square by b. So what is the values they have given? Finally you need to solve for what? S2p minus S1p, right? We will write for that also. This is S2p minus S1p, okay. S2p is that value, that is b plus bd square by 2b minus b. So if you solve for it, delta path difference, it will be equals to what? bd square divided by 2 b squared, sorry, d square by 2b you are going to end up with, d square by 2b you are going to end up with, okay. I think this binomial expansion what we made here, see, is it correct? Or else I will write here itself, see, b square if I take common, remaining is what? 1 plus d square by b square whole power 1 by 2. For this you apply the binomial expansion, what you will get? This is b square into 1 plus 1 by 2 into d square by b square. So I hope you got this. So now you can take the values, subtract from this, what you will get now? S2p minus S1p means how much it is? S2p is this value, okay. So taking out the root, right, once again b square out, if you take out of the root it will become b, not b square, okay. Now it is, to substitute for it, what you will get? B into 1 plus d square by 2b square minus b. If you take out, remaining is d square divided by 2b. Take this. See, this simplification you need to have it, mathematical calculation. If I take b square out of root, if you take square and root, they will get cancelled, it should be b, it is not b square. B if I take common, rest of this thing is, you just put for binomial expansion, only up to second term we are going to take. We will end up with d square divided by what? 2b, like this. Up to here itself is a physics thing we have to relate it, we are going to relate here what is happening, and rest of everything is some mathematical calculation. In any other way if you can also do it, not a problem, we can do them, but you just remember for that. I hope you got this. We will go for the next. I think 60 you can do that, that is simple. Problem 7.1, problem number 7. So 7th problem. So you just go through with that, what they are given. In an interference pattern produced by two identical slits, the intensity at the site of the central maxima is high. Okay. Now, intensity at the same spot when either of the two slits is closed is, means if one of the slit has been closed, right, if one of the slit has been closed, what will be the intensity at that same point they are asking. Due to both the slits, what is the intensity we are having? They are given it as what? I. Just go through with this problem. If one of the slit is closed, intensity at that certain point is I, right? Intensity at the same spot when either of the two slits is closed is, now see here, these two are the two slits, right? At certain point intensity is I, they are saying, where that point it is, intensity at a certain point at site of central maxima, at central maxima only intensity is I, they are saying, and you know this I, it will be equals to what actually? 4I0. Okay, or here when you are talking something about slits, when they are given, right, slit width I will consider, let it be, the slit width be some small a. What is that? Slit width is what? Small a. You know intensity is directly proportional to square of amplitude, but remember amplitude is directly proportional to slit width. This is one more formula you have to remember. What is this? Amplitude and slit width. Small a is what? Slit width. Slit width it is, and a is nothing but what? Amplitude. Amplitude. This is very important. amplitude is directly proportional to what? Slit width. If you are going to double the slit width, amplitude is going to be doubled, intensity is going to become how much? Intensity is proportional to square of amplitude, means I can say when both the slits are there, what is the intensity they are saying here? I, that is how much it is, I is nothing but, see, intensity is going to be doubled, means what? It will be 4 into I naught. 4 into I, each intensity is of how much it is, A square, so that means what? 4A square I can write. Okay, so but if one of the slit is going to be closed, if one of the slit is closed, they are given, right, same spot. If one of the slit is going to be closed, then what happens to the intensity at that point? One of the slit is closed means there is no any interference that is going to be taking place, only diffraction is going to be taking place here. Okay, so only intensity because of this one, how much it is there? Only due to this intensity means some I dash I will say. Some I dash I am going to mention. It is proportional to what? Only due to that, what is the amplitude at that point means A square we are going to have. Amplitude square, but amplitude is directly proportional to what? This is proportional to A square. So then at that point I dash divided by I, it will be equals to how much? This is A square divided by 4A square, or I dash it will be equals to I by 4 you are going to get. I dash it will be equals to what? I by 4 you are going to get there. This is the answer. Simple. Intensity is proportional to square of amplitude. Once again, amplitude is proportional to slit width. So in terms of slit width, if you want to write the intensity at a given point, right, intensity is proportional to amplitude square, means intensity is proportional to square of slit width also, you have to remember this point. If I am going to half the slit width, what happens to the intensity at that point? They will ask there. Earlier, with these two slits are equal, right, if it is A and if it is, even if it is A, right, intensity at that point is I, they are given. If I am going to make this slit width, this is other some other problem I am telling, not related to this, means model of the problem, anything. The answer for this one is completed, I by 4. Now, if I say this is of slit width is reduced to A by 2, what happens to the intensity at that point? They will ask there. In that case, remember, intensity is proportional to square of amplitude, and once again it is proportional to what? A square. A is what? Slit width if they are given. Okay. Wherever I1 is there, I can substitute A square. Wherever I2 is there, what I need to take it now? A square by 4. Small a square by 4. Okay. So likewise you have to take for intensity. In place of, anywhere if you write for I1 and I2 in terms of maxima, if you want to write root I1 plus root I2 whole square, you can mention. In place of I1, A square. In place of I2, A square by 4 you have to write. Why? Because A is going to be reduced by how much? Half they are saying. That means square of that will be A by 2 whole square. A square by 4 it will become I2. So such way you have to mention for I1 by I2 or I maximum by I minimum. Or I maximum, if they are going to ask, you have to substitute for those values. Just have an idea of it. Next, 8th problem, 8th one. So go through with that problem then. What they are given? Light from two coherent sources of same amplitude and same wavelength illuminates the screen. Intensity of central maxima is I. If the sources were non-coherent, the intensity at the same point will be equals to how much they are asking. See, question is light from two coherent sources, when it is there, right, then intensity is I naught they are saying. Means what? This is I naught, I will say, this is I naught initially, and at the central screen what is going to be found means intensity is I they are given. What should be? It is 4 I naught, we are all known. Okay, I it should be equals to, if it is I naught and I naught, if interference is going to take place, definitely it should be 4 I naught. Means from this, what is the value of I naught we are having? I by 4. Keep this point in mind. Now, for non-coherent sources, this is applicable, 4 I naught for this one is applicable only if interference is going to take place. If it is not interference, if it is going to be, if interference should take place means coherent sources they should be. They are saying that for non-coherent sources, interference do not take place, only resultant intensity at that point, now it is going to become sum of these two. Sum of these two means what? I naught plus I naught. So that is 2 I naught it is going to become. Keep this point in mind. 2 I naught means how much it will be now? I dash equals to 2 into I naught value, we got it as how much in terms of the given parameters? I by 4, that is I by 2 it will become. Intensity is going to become how much now? I by 2. That is the answer. See once again, if two sources are coherent at the central maxima, right, intensity is 4 I naught, when if both are of I naught and I naught, and if they should be coherent. Interference has been taken place, that's why it is 4 I naught we will get. But if they are non-coherent, there is no question of interference itself. If interference is not there, it is not 4 I naught at the central bright, it is going to have diffraction in that case. So like in that case, just superposition of two waves, how they are going to be. Their maximum means, what is the formula they are having? R maximum means, R maximum is A plus B will get, no, in the same way, like maximum amplitude or maximum intensity, if you want to write for, right, A plus B you are going to get there. A plus B whole square you will get in case of interference. Just have an idea. That's why intensity is how much? I naught plus I naught, 2 I naught at the central fringe. So then it will be equals to what? 2 into I by 4, that is now how much it is? I by 2. This is the answer. So that is all about problem number 8. Next go for 9th problem. Problem number 9. Just go through. In Young's double slit experiment, an interference pattern is obtained on a screen by light of wavelength 6000 angstrom coming from the coherent sources S1 and S2. At certain point P on the screen, third dark fringe is going to be formed. Then path difference S1P minus S2P is, see, same like this is the screen. Somewhere at this point, what is going to be formed? They are saying third dark or bright? Third dark is formed at this point P. Okay, na? So one of the light is coming from this point and one more light is coming from this point. There will be path difference between them, right? This is S1P and this is S2P. This is delta X. What is the condition for formation of dark fringes? In case of interference, right, we have studied. If you want to study for interference, path difference, right, in terms of path difference, for constructive interference, n lambda we have studied. For destructive interference, 2n minus 1 into lambda. Path difference delta x, it should be equals to what? 2n minus 1 into lambda. They are saying this is which dark fringe? Third dark fringe. That's why it is 2 into 3 minus 1 into lambda. Path difference it should be. Okay, na? So how much you will get now? Tell me. 6 minus 1, 5 lambda, na it is. This is 5 into lambda. I think they are given the value of lambda there. Lambda is how much? 6000 angstroms they are given. If I substitute for it, what you will get? So then delta x it will be equals to 5 into 6000 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. Answers I think they are asking in terms of micron. If you write, what you will get? This is 30,000 into 10 to the power of minus 6 meter. 4 zeros if you take out, minus 10 it is, right? Then it will be equals to what? 3 into 10 to the power of minus 6 meters or 3 micrometers or 3 microns. Micron is nothing but micrometer. This is what? Path difference for these two waves which are going to be reaching this point P. Simple formula, but this relation you have to remember. For destructive interference, 2n minus 1 into lambda. For constructive, at the same point, if third bright is formed, means 3 lambda. That means n lambda, that is a condition for what? Path difference for bright fringe. Next, for 11th problem, there is 10th is similar one, you can do that. Same kind of problem it is. 10th is similar. Go with 11th problem. Problem number 11. In Young's double slit experiment, what is that? They are saying that nth red band coincides with n plus 1th blue bright band. If the wavelengths of red and blue lights they are given, then the value of Ne is, okay. When they are using 2 times the wavelength, right? twice the wavelengths they are using at a given point, at this point, right, from the central fringe. Here first one what is formed? Nth red, when they made use the wavelength of lambda 1. At the same point what is going to be formed? N plus 1th bright, that is, this both are of bright only, n plus 1th bright, and that is nth bright it is for a wavelength of lambda. N plus 1th bright for a wavelength of how much it is? N plus 1th bright for a wavelength of lambda. Okay. So what is the ratio of those wavelengths they are asking, right? Distance is same, distance of nth bright fringe from the central fringe. Why it will be equals to what? N lambda capital D by small d. N lambda 1 capital D by small d, right? And at the same point for wavelength of lambda 2, this is n plus 1 to lambda 2 capital D by small d. Capital D, small d, they will get cancelled. From this I can write n lambda 1 will be equals to n plus 1 lambda 2. Use this relation to solve for n. They are given lambda 1 value how much for red, right? Red is 7500 lambda 1 and blue is 5000, that is for lambda 2. Substitute for both lambda 1 and lambda 2 and solve for the value of n. This is the formula which you have to remember with. So this is with problem number 11. Substitute and get the answer there, you will get the value. Next, 12th problem, problem number 12. In Young's double slit experiment, 12 fringes are observed to be formed in a certain segment if wavelength of 600 nanometers is used. If the wavelength of light is changed to 400 nanometers, the number of fringes observed in the same segment are, okay. So now see here, segment means in that region or up to that particular point, right? In a segment means what? I will say if it is central fringe up to here, in this region how many fringes are formed? They are saying 12 fringes are observed to be formed in certain segment of wavelength 6000, right? For a wavelength of lambda 1, how many number of fringes are formed here? 12, right? When they are going to make use of a wavelength of lambda 2, how many number of fringes are going to be formed in that region? They are asking. Yes or no? That is for a wavelength of how much? 400 nanometer. You know, number of fringes means, you know, formula for fringe width beta equals to what? Lambda capital D by small d. N fringes are there means n beta, right? So, but distance of this fringes, why it will be same in both the cases? That's why you can write n1 lambda 1 will be equals to n2 into lambda 2. Here also the same condition I am going to consider. So, for this what it is, n1 is 12, lambda 1 how much they are given ma? 600, right? 600 nanometer, it will be equals to some n2, we don't know, n2 this is 400 they are given. So, if you solve, how much you will get? If you solve for it, n2 will be equals to 2 zeros, 4 ones, 4 threes are. So, remaining is what? n2 equals to 18 you will get here. Number of fringes what we are going to get in that segment will be equals to how much it is? 18. Just have an idea. This is of problem number 12. Okay, simple. 13th one, a double slit experiment is, a double slit is illuminated by light of wavelength they are given 6000. Slits are 0.1 centimeter apart, means distance between the two slits 0.1 centimeter, and screen is placed 1 meter away. Screen is placed 1 meter away. Then the angular position of 10th maxima is, condition for maxima, what is that? Angular position means theta you have to find, we will see what it is. Angular position of 10th maxima they are asking. You know, what is the meaning of angular position, we will see. Generally in diffraction we have studied that. Okay, so this is 10th maxima if you are going to have. This is 10th maxima. This is the angular position of 10th maxima. How much is the value of that theta they are asking? Okay. So, what is the value you are going to get there? Theta, you see here tan theta is almost equals to theta you can write. Okay. But what is the condition for theta, if you want to find, we don't know the value of this y, right? Y they have not given. Keep this point in mind. For 10th maxima, value is what? Delta x, it should be equals to n lambda, path difference. It should be equals to some d sin theta, we are aware. Okay, na? Or from this sin theta, it will be equals to what? N lambda by small d we are going to have. Sin theta equals to what? N lambda by small d. You just directly you can take. N is how much? 10 they have given. Small d they have given. Theta we can find out directly here. So no need of solving for y also. So directly theta, see from this relation what I can write? Sin theta is almost equals to theta. That's why theta it will be equals to what? N lambda by d. N is how much? 10 they have given. Wavelength of light. Wavelength is 6000 angstrom divided by small d is how much? Distance between the slits is 0.1 centimeter, means 10 power minus 3 meters. How much you will get if it goes numerator, you know, this is angstrom we are having into 10 power minus 10, it is minus 3 plus 3 minus 6, 6 into, just calculate for the value how much you will get there, 6 in 10 power minus 3 radian we are going to get there. Okay. So next, I hope even the same kind of problems, all these are from 14, 15, distance of nth bright, nth dark, like that and all. I just want you to go with 22nd problem. 22nd. See, in between all you can solve of the same model problems, say new models we will see. Two coherent monochromatic light sources are located at two vertices of an equilateral triangle. If the intensity due to each of the sources independently is 1 watt per meter square, 1 watt per meter square, what is that? Okay, at the third vertex, then the resultant intensity due to both the sources at that point is simple, right? Like, see, each intensity is I naught. Equilateral triangle they are given, means what? This is an equilateral triangle in this condition, right? This is 2. Third vertex is exactly the central maximum only you are going to get, exactly. This is the third vertex. Here it is I they are given. I is 1 watt per meter square. This is 1 and even this is also 1. Then how much it should be resultant intensity at this point? I dash, it will be equals to 4 I naught only, na? Cos square 5 by 2. Phi is 0, that's why you will get cos 0 is 1, 4 I naught. I naught is how much? Each one they have given it as 1. Therefore, I at that point will be equals to what? 4 into 1. That is 4 watt per meter square. This is the intensity at the third vertex. That's how we need to solve for the problems. And even a few more, like see 24th problem. 24th problem. Okay, just go through with that. Okay, question is, in Young's double slit experiment, S1 and S2 are two slits, films of thickness T1 and T2 and refractive index M1 and M2 are placed in front of S1 and S2 respectively. They are given one condition here. What is that? If M1 T1, if it is equals to M2 T2, then where exactly the central maxima it is going to be? What happens to the central bright fringe? To which region it is going to be shifted? So we have one small relation studied for number of fringes that got shifted due to this placement, right? Mu minus 1 into T divided by lambda. These are the number of fringes that got shifted when I am going to place one of the slit in its path, in one of the path of this one. For example, if I am having two slits, right? Here if I am going to place this, so the light which is coming exactly at the central fringe is going to be shifted to this. How many number of fringes they got shifted means this is a relation we have studied. Taking that into consideration, and they are given what is that relation? M1 T1 will be equals to what? M2 into T2. Now shift will be more if, see, shift is towards S1 if T2 is greater than T1. Thickness of second one is greater than thickness of the first one. Shift will be towards S1. Why? Because if it is going to be more thicker for the given condition, right, if you solve for this relation, or how much it got shifted, distance if you know, right, Substituting for the given conditions there, then fourth option you are going to get shift will be towards S1 if T2 is greater than T1, right, and it will be towards S2 if T2 is less than T1. So that is a relation which you have to remember for the given condition of M1 T1 if it is equals to M2 T2, right, and taking this relation, you just solve for the distance, by what distance it got, it means n beta will be the distance it got shifted. N is how much? Mu minus T into, sorry, mu minus 1 into T by lambda. Beta is lambda capital T by small d. Substitute distance how much it is. Y1 if it is more, it will be shifted towards S1. If Y2 if it is more, in the same way for M2 and T2 values, you find the value of Y2. Y2 is how much? It is some N1, let me say, this is some N2 into beta. Beta is same here. So you solve for this condition Y1. If Y1 is greater than Y2, let me say, if Y1 is greater than Y2, then it will shift towards S1. If Y2 is greater than Y1, then it will shift towards S2. So for this condition you have to solve. So you'll get like shift is towards S1 if T2 is greater than T1, and towards S2 if T2 is less than T1. For the given condition of what? M1 T1, it will be equals to M2 T2. So this is the problem about 24th which we have solved with, and rest of all in intensity, and the same model we are having that you can do them. And in polarization also, just a minute, and we'll see for the time. Okay, it's almost up there. So I think in polarization also, based on, see how the angles have been subtended by two polarites, based on that problem number, all the problems I have already given in a classwork problems itself. Anything you just try with those problems, all based on intensity only I given there. If anything, if it is not from this, we'll just come back later and we'll see them in the regular sessions. I hope you got all the points related to these numericals, and problems which are left out has to be tried from your end, right? That is your work. It's not like you have to go through with only this worksheet. If you have any other kind of reference materials, if you are having from them, right, you just keep solving from them, and you bring out all the doubts what you are going to have it, and where exactly you felt difficult in solving that so kind of problems, right, you just bring up in our like offline classes when it is going to be, right, we'll have that kind of discussions over there. So with this entire chapter wave optics we are going to wind up with. Most of the topics which it has already covered. Have a complete follow up of all the online sessions what you have studied with, and get prepared and come for the offline sessions what we are going to have in the coming days. Okay, so learn few things from this at least. I am not saying 100% you have to learn everything. If it is going to get everything 100%, and if you have learned, that is well and good. At least try to grab 70 to 80% of what you are learning through the online sessions. I know it is difficult, but still only source or only this thing what we are having, that is you have to do it. Once if you are going to come out, make sure, I told you in the beginning, even now I am telling, you have to come out like something you need to hold in your hand, and you have to come to the college before you are going to get. Why? Because the 6 months of time, what are all it happened, right? So at least few things if you are going to hold in your hand and come, it will be easier and bit comfortable for the teachers even to make you to take it forward. If you are going to come with an empty hand for all the 6 months of time, what it happened, it is a huge burden not only on you, on the teacher or on everyone. It is very difficult with the very lesser time what we are going to have for the coming days to be dealt with. That's why minimum things you have to learn. I am telling you, if it is not 100%, at least 60 to 70% of that or 80% of that if you are going to hold up what are all it happened for all the online sessions, right, even though it is difficult, but only way what possibility we can make it is all we are doing from our end. So it is all up to you how we have taken. If you take it in a positive way and if you have learnt with that, then it will be well and good for every like teacher, student, fraternity, everyone, it will be very happy. Instead of that, if you think like it is a burden and we want everything to be done further even after the offline sessions, means it is very difficult. But of course still what are all topics we have dealt with, everything, just a brief view of that we can have it during the sessions, but entire pin to pin derivation everything means it is very difficult with the shortage of time what we are having. If it is 2 months earlier we would have done that, but now it is too late which it is. So that's all I can say with this. So with this we have completed with wave optics. I hope you have learned. Okay, we'll see with the remaining chapters to be dealt with further. Fine. Thank you.